That is a terabyte worth of SSD. Good afternoon, welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're a new camera user of the 4-piece variety, or get triple XL. And lately, we've been doing a lot of handheld stuff with MSI Claw and with the Lenovo Legion Go reviews out now. The handheld thing is becoming more and more demand. I was an early adopter, got an Android version of it, and it's a lot of fun when you can play like PlayStation 1 in your hand and stuff. But now they're putting AAA games into your hands, which is kind of nuts, with like 2 hours worth of gaming time. But AAA games take up a lot of space. So you're going to need some quick, fast storage, otherwise loading times are going to be your lifeblood, and there's not a lot of space inside of those systems for storage. So now this is the thing, 22 by 30 NVMEs. This little 22 by 30 has a terabyte worth of storage on it. It's honestly been optimized for read cycles a little bit more than write cycles, but it's still kind of incredible that that tiny little thing over there has now a terabyte worth of storage. And I'm kind of okay with the way they've set this up, because that's going to be your priority, is you're going to download and install your game at whatever your internet speed is. That's going to be most of what you write to the device, but it's pretty good with a big file in it. Anyway, let's get into the review. So 22 by 30 PCI Express 4.0 3D NAND, 1.4 NVMe and SLC caching on this little drive. I think this is probably DRAMless. I'm going to hazard a guess just based on the way it performed. But like I said, it's really been set up for write cycles more, or read cycles more than write cycles. So if we look at the initial test that I did on Crystal Disk when it was completely empty, you're going to notice, yeah, the read speeds are considerably fast. Up to 5,000 megabytes per second is what they quoted, and you're going to get very close to that. But you'll notice on the write cycle side, as soon as we get into like the 4K writes and such, it's dropping to about 300 megabytes per second, which is still going to be way faster than any internet connection you would have hooked up to this, because most of the handhelds top out at about 1.2 gigabits per second, which is only about 120 to say 140 megabytes per second. So it's not going to go, you're not going to be hamstrung by that. What was interesting, however, is that it sort of ran out of caching, is what I've noticed when I did a file transfer test on it. You'll see at the beginning, it was flying, and those were with the bigger file sizes. It goes up to like 2.3 gigabytes per second between NVMe to NVMe. So it's got the chops to do the speed. It's just when you get to those small files that you're going to get quite a lot of slowdown, and you'll see it lasted quite long in that range. It didn't really ever recover, and I think the peaks that I saw were about 500 megabytes per second. So on a sort of real-world test transferring my Steam library onto here, that's basically what I experienced, and you're probably going to have a consistent experience. What was kind of cool though is when it was over 55% full, then I did the Crystal Disk again, and then we saw that test keep within the speed range that we're used to seeing. If we compare that to a full fat 22 by 80, actually this thing's big brother in the another XPG drive, the S80 I believe is the model for that. It's kind of consistent like with their memory technology that I'm experiencing with Adata XPG stuff. So I would say that if you're looking for a storage upgrade, especially if it's for a device like a handheld, it's going to be absolutely perfect. You're never going to really have an area where the drive is going to bottleneck, and those read speeds are so quick that even if you fill up the drive, it's still going to perform quite well. Usually when you go over 50%, you see some performance degradation in that, in all areas, but it didn't really. So, and you're going to want to keep it below about 80%. So if you've got a 500 gig NVMe as standard, and you're wanting to keep it below 80% full, that's going to be in the region of like 380 gigs after the loss of formatting and file systems in Windows, and obviously operating system. That means you're going to be able to put like maybe 5 games on your thing, say to 7 games, if they're 30 gig-ish each to 50 gig, you're probably going to max out about 7 to 8 games. But on this, then you could double that effectively as well. And if you've got a laptop that's got a spare a secondary drive bay, then this is, and you want to install games and stuff on it, then something like this is going to be absolutely perfect. We can't really expect, I think as well, a 30mm drive to perform the same as an 80mm drive. It's just going to have a lot more memory chips and stuff on it, because there's just one from what I can see underneath the sticker over here. I don't really want to peel it off because I have to send it back, and it's not mine, it belongs to Adata. So yeah, I like your Adata. I really like the memory products. It's still very, very good, especially where read speeds are considered. Anywho, that's all I have for you on the Gammix S55 from XPG. If you have enjoyed this review, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.